As many of you know, I've spent my professional life fighting to protect Michigan's land, air, and water. Fighting for GLRI dollars to preserve our Great Lakes, delivering watershed education to students throughout West Michigan, shaping best practices in energy efficiency for homeowners and stormwater systems for Grand Rapids. All of this work and more, delivered across all of our communities, is how we can be sure that our kids and grandkids will inherit our Great Lakes state in good condition, and that they themselves will be healthy enough to enjoy that inheritance. Preservation and environmental justice are responsibilities we all share. And while I will vote yes for historic investments in drinking water funding and the staffing that we need to not only address PFAS, but also operate existing functions, I will vote yes with reservations. My reservations stem from line items like air quality services for Southeast Michigan that were not funded. They stem from last-minute elimination of dollars for watershed organizations, efforts among our local governments with little or no funding, because watersheds cross traditional government boundaries, and we need people to coalesce multiple governments. My reservations include that funding sources are adjusted, meaning that some departments of EGLE will have funding to get through this year, but we have failed to deliver sustainable sources of funding for the long haul. As stewards of 90% of North America's surface fresh water, we have the solemn duty to protect our lakes and rivers for the millions of people relying on them today, every day, and for water refugees who will come to Michigan as climate change and drought further impacts communities across the globe. As humans and educators, parents and grandparents, we take for granted that all people have the right to clean air. But this budget doesn't reflect that value, and as a result, children, seniors, and vulnerable populations breathing toxic, contaminated air in Detroit will continue to pay the price of corporate polluters and our fossil fuel addiction. For years now, our state has been reeling from crisis after crisis when it comes to our drinking water, land protections, and air quality. Some of these crises we can't control, others are within our boundaries to address, and in the worst cases, the crisis is caused by government itself. From lead poisoning to Flint to dioxin pollutions in Washtenaw, millions of families throughout our state have been unable to even trust the water that comes from their taps. The additional $120 million included in this budget to fight the spread of PFAS and clean up our drinking water gives us the opportunity to begin earning back the trust of some Michiganders. But there are many others who we are leaving behind, and I will dedicate the next several years of my service to these people in addressing this inequity. I hope you will join me and my colleagues in this work. In the meantime, we'll take what we can get, because after years of disinvestment in the Department of Environmental Quality, now the Department of Environment, Great Lakes, and Energy, any improvement in the budget for our environment is one that I have to stand behind in order to move Michigan forward. Thank you for your time.